Hey y'all, just little old me, Derek Linville. You know, here here recently, I've been having a lot of visions about this country's future, and it seems to me that these visions have a lot to do with the demise of this once great nation. They have left me shaken to the core with what our future could be. If you look at what happened in Maui, thousands of people lost their homes in wildfires. Our government, who is very generous to other countries by sending billions and trillions of dollars to them, without even so much as a care about its own citizens. To the world, we look like the good guy. Our government, however, on the other hand, to its own citizens, looks like a bunch of traitorous, selfish, greedy assholes. They don't care about us. They don't care about whether or not we starve. They don't care about whether or not we live. The only thing that they care about, and they say they care about us, is just before election time. They tell us, we care about you. We're going to work harder to help make everything equal to you guys. All the while, that is nothing but lies that they tell us, because their reality is that they are only looking out for themselves. They only care about themselves. They care about how much money they bring in, while they take thousands away from us every month. If we don't show an accountability of our money at tax time, we get the IRS banging on our door saying, hello, I need you to account for this $6 that you spent. But meanwhile, they could lose billions and they don't have to answer for it? Does that make any sense? Our government now, under the leadership of Joe Biden, is showing their hands. They're showing their ass to us. They're telling us, we can do this. We can get away with it, but you can't. We're better than you. We're protected. You're not. They say that nothing in our Constitution is absolute. You know, if I was to run for president, I think I would change that. I would have it done up to where everything about our Constitution is absolute. Yeah. That seems to make sense, don't it? But, back to their spending spree. Our government asked for billions of dollars so that way they can send more money to Ukraine. And when Maui had the wildfires and the villagers lost everything. Everything. They lost their homes, they lost family members, they've lost every belonging that they ever had, which, by the way, in my honest opinion, was set up by our government so that they could buy the property for pennies on a dollar as opposed to what they would spend normally to buy it out. They offered the citizens $700. What can you do with $700 now? Literally, that ain't even 1 month's rent. That's barely the deposit on rent for some place to live. You go to a car lot with $700 saying, "What do you got?" They laugh at you. You might be able to buy a lot of groceries, but if you're one of the victims that lost their homes, how are you going to cook your food? It's a sad time for this country, but like I was saying about my visions have a lot to do with the demise of this country. And it showed a clear picture of what the future is. If you've ever seen that TV show Twisted Metal, where they built colonies, they built walls around these colonies. They entitled it New San Francisco, New Chicago, New Philadelphia. They had these walls with armed guards and everything, and you had a process. If you was a criminal or charged with anything, you wasn't allowed in those cities. And they was left to fend for themselves. They was left to hunt, to try to make ends meet wherever they could. And food was very hard to come by. And the lands that were not the cities looked like a toxic wasteland. Like it was burnt down buildings and wildly grown weeds and stuff that took over what was once a popularized area. And it makes you wonder, is that the direction this country is heading? It looks like it. In every sense of the word, it does. It looks like it. It looks like that's where we're heading. And it looks like our government is pushing for that. They're moving in hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants every month. They're just letting them walk right on in. Hi, make yourself at home. But it's true. And the reason for all that, and this is totally my belief only, is because they want this country filled with a bunch of illegal immigrants to where they can promise them the world. And like what Joe Biden had showed, he made promises and he never kept a single one. And that's what he's going to do with these illegal immigrants. They're going to promise them the world and say that they have a brighter future in this country. And guess what? When they come in this country and they ensure that the Democratic Party is in power, that's it. They'll never uphold anything. They'll never uphold the one promise. They will show them what their true colors really are. But the damage is already done because they would already be in power, and there's another 4 years. And like the last election, this one's going to be rigged. It's going to be rigged. Just like the last one. And there's not going to be a damn thing we can do about it. Prepare for 4 more years of this bullshit. Stock up on food. Stock up on weapons. Stock up on ammo. Get you a generator, because I have a feeling that they're going to shut down the power grids. And then you're going to be left with no electricity, so you won't be able to cook. You won't be able to refrigerate food items. So make sure they're non-perishable, by the way. Stock up on fuel for your generators. If you can't get a generator, and if you heat by natural gas, prepay now for natural gas to stock up for the winter. Have it saved on your account, so that way every month they can bring out new fuel and you ain't got to worry about it. If you heat by fire, stock up on wood. Folks, it's going to get ugly. Very, very, very ugly. Even more so than now. I'm sorry to have to be the bearer of bad news, but our way of life, of how wonderful it was back 30, 40 years ago, even 50 years ago, is over. Now we're just looking at doom and gloom. Y'all stay safe, stay ready. Peace.